This is what the Highwire is.
When the whole pandemic started, this was really where I got my knowledge from. I saw all the scientists, all the doctors.
Religiously, every Thursday, we need that encouragement from each other. You allowed a lot of us to take that dive into the science and really get immersed in it, so thank you.
This is why I love watching your show. This is why I love watching you. It's a comprehensive overview, but it's also built and supported with detail and with evidence.
CNN and Anderson Cooper has been reaching out to us and all the other mainstream guys. But I need to share my side of the story, and I know that there's only one person who's going to do it right, and that's still Bigtree.
You guys are the mainstream media now. They're done. They're dead. It's over.
The media, like the Highwire and Bigtree, are not only reporting the truth every week, but also fighting in court for justice.
I think what we have in common is the passion for the truth, right? And I see you as somebody who's investigating, what are the real facts and data.
You are one of the beacons for all of us. When things get really dark, I turn on the Highwire. Lifts me back up every time.
Del, your confidence is so inspiring.
Thank you for doing all that you do, fighting the good fight.
Del, I really appreciate your hard work and your team.
Thank you for giving us a voice.
I appreciate you so much.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
What can we create when we connect together? Good to be with you, Del.
You too, brother. Thank you for your continued support and your friendship, Del.
We're just grateful for the chance to talk to you and for your support and interest in our latest declaration.
It's great to be on your show, and thank you for everything you've been doing in terms of providing the truth to people regarding COVID and the vaccines.
You've been in a war zone of your own. It's a really lethal war zone, right? When you get into the realm of big pharma and all that money that is at stake there, all the power players.
This is a war for survival of the soul of humanity. Ultimately, it's going to have to take people ready to sacrifice everything in order to bring the truth to the world.
I've been one of the silent people with injured children who have hidden behind you, rooting you on for years. And it's time that I stand beside you.
We're standing up and we're fighting for you. We're fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves. That is what the truth is all about. That is what being alive is all about. And that's what the Highwire is about. I'll see you next week. It is a very important day for us here, the Informed Consent Action Network and the Highwire. It's a very important day for all of you who we work for. You're the boss. You're our sponsors, not Exxon, not Pfizer. Pfizer is not telling our executive what to do, what we can report on, like unfortunately it did for Chris Cuomo and the company that he used to work for, and maybe Newsmax or any of these others are lightening up their grip a little bit. But here, this is what news looks like when you have no corporate influence whatsoever. This is what our government is supposed to look like. This is what the United States of America, in fact, the model of this is based on what America is supposed to be. A nation of, for, by the people. Is it? Do you feel like it is? I mean, let's be really honest right now. We're coming into some elections coming up here and around the world. And as, Patrick Wood just pointed out, boy, they would love to have all the control. They would love to be tracking us on our cell phones everywhere we go. They would love to track our cars. They'd love to control our power, our food supply, how many steaks we eat, how far we drive. That's what they all want. They're making it really clear. They want emergency powers. And who's giving them all of their science that they're working with? Who's helping them put together these plans? Is it you? Is it me? Is it the people? Is it our vote? No, that has nothing to do with it right now. It's all about corporate interest. The WEF has the same billionaires all getting together to have a party about controlling the world that are then going home and funding the biggest lobbies that control every part of the United States government and every other shill of a government around the world. Am I wrong? Seriously, am I wrong? Are we going to do this? Are we just going to keep electing people that do the same thing and say, hey, there it goes? Same as it ever was. Talk ahead. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. I'm dating myself with that point, but those of you that know what I'm talking about, here we are. We are showing we can make a difference. Just with one show like this, one internet talk show was able to light a fire. And I'm not saying we were all alone. A shout out to all those doctors that came before me, the shoulders we've stood upon, and all of those warrior moms out there that started talking to politicians long before I ever did. But today, we all get to pat ourselves on the shoulder. Today, we have just turned a corner. Now they can never turn back. They cracked a door. But what came crumbling down when they did that was safe and effective. Don't question it. It's over. That lie is now over. And behind it, what I've always said, once the biggest lie ever told that affected all of us. This vaccine program has been in all of us. We're all been forced to do it to our kids year upon year upon year. Sure, we can talk about central reserve banking and all the other issues, and sure, climate and all of those things are important. But I've said from the beginning, this vaccine is what will take this system down. This is how we'll let the world know what a lie it has all been, how little control we've had, and how much corporate disgusting influence there has been. Once we prove that this vaccine program's been lying to us, everyone will have to wake up. Those of you who have watched me from the beginning, from the moment I made Vaxxed, and I left CBS and said I'm only going to tell the truth, the people's truth from here on out. You've watched this journey. This is the next chapter. Perhaps this is Act 3 opening up. Now we look at the runway ahead to how the story ends. Are you ready? Do you have enough wind behind you now to finally speak your truth? Do you have enough strength and confidence in saying, wow, man, I've been watching Dell and geez, that track record, he and Jeffrey and that team, it's amazing how, bold they've been, how against the grain they've been, and yet all of it they got right. Are you finally going to tell your friends? Because right now, we have 5-7 million people, something that any influencer in the world would be really proud of. But this has never been about that for me. No one here. I don't care about how big the numbers are or that you're watching. Everybody needs to know this truth. We need everybody. Can you imagine if the world had been watching the Highwire instead of Chris Cuomo on CNN or MSNBC and Rachel Maddow? Can you imagine if everyone had been watching this show? Why don't you help us make sure the next time these global monsters try to do this again, and believe me, they still have all the money and they don't plan on giving it back and they know we're coming for it, what do you think they're going to do? Please make sure everyone you know is going to the place where the truth is all we talk about. This is the Highwire. It's a day of celebration, a day of mourning for all of those we wished we'd have gotten to on time. But a recognition that this is not over. In fact, the fight has really just begun. Let's win this. And I'll see you next week.